a program. I have, of course, an interpreter. And he knows what I'm saying to the audience, but I have no idea what he's saying because I have no understanding of the Chinese language. But if you watched him, you don't need to know a word he's saying, but you can tell this is one enthusiastic person. You can see it in their eyes, you can see it in their body language, you can feel it in their demeanor. So enthusiasm is a trait that you can make happen if you work on it. And I think these are the keys to keeping it. The first word necessary to always be enthusiastic is the word curiosity. I think you've got to always be curious about learning new things. Don't fall into the trap of doing everything the same. Even driving to work. Many of you, I think, should say, hey, I'm having some fun. I'm going to find another way to get there. I'm going to get curious about other streets I can go to. I'm going to get curious about learning more about my business. See, I think enthusiastic people are curious. I didn't allow myself to play golf for many years because I was focused on achieving goals. That was in the financial area, the security area of my life, and I did not believe I should take a 5 to 6 hour period to go out and play the game of golf. So I put it off. I always wanted to, but I did not allow myself. But I all of a sudden said, it's time for me, and then all of a sudden I got curious about the game. And my curiosity increased my enthusiasm because I then said, I'm going to really make this a passion. And that's true of everything you do. Please keep looking for new things in your life. Be curious about things you haven't done, places you haven't gone. And that's also part of your goal setting. Where are places in the world do you want to go to before you die? What are things you want to see before you die? What do you want to fill your life with? What are the cruises you want to go on? What do you want to do to say, hey man, I'm really enjoying my life? That's what's called curiosity. Keeping that up keeps your enthusiasm up. The second word that I think builds enthusiasm is interest. Meaning I think you've got to be real interested in life. I don't know if you've met people like this. I have, that they seem no interest in anything. They just seem to be kind of blasé. There's no excitement about them. They're not interested in what's happening. I think you need to get real interested in people, interested in business, interested in life. That's why the school is never out for a professional. They're always searching. They want to get interested in things. Now, we can have curiosity. And by the way, listen carefully. There are people that go into sales, brand new, excited, enthusiastic people. They are enthusiastic. They are curious to know how to make a lot more money. They have a high interest level to do well in sales, but they lack this third word. And if they don't get this third word, I'll guarantee you they'll lose their enthusiasm. And the next word is knowledge. See, if you don't have knowledge, you'll eventually lose your enthusiasm because you won't know what you're doing, and all of a sudden you say, I can't stand this anymore. It'd be like golf, for example. I think if a person, just you that have played golf, a person doesn't start breaking 110, 120, if you don't start doing that after 6 months or a year, you're going to lose your what? Enthusiasm. You're going, this is not for me because it's no fun. When I started playing, I couldn't carry a bag big enough for the balls I knew were not coming back with me. So I didn't like it at first, but I did what I've tried to do in selling. I found a pro, I took the lessons, and I've tried to do my best to exemplify what I do in selling as far as my passion for the game of golf. Now here's something else you need to do if you really want to get knowledge. I hope that you'll look at me as a mentor. But I think you also need to find some physical mentors where you live, where you work. See, today mentoring is a tremendous way of building a business. It's finding people who are more successful than yourself, asking if they'll help you grow, mature, listening to them. Now, one thing I've always found about successful people, real successful people want other people to succeed. And so your most successful people, if you go to them and say, you know, I'm looking for a mentor, would you mind mentoring me? Now, of course, explain to them. All you'd like to do is visit with them, maybe on a monthly basis, Have them give you some of the ideas they become successful. See, you don't need to learn everything on your own. You can take advantage of other people's experience, which is really smart if you think about it. Now, there's another thing I'd like you to do as part of the follow-up of the program. You have an advantage that I didn't have when I got into the field of sales. When I started in selling, there was no such thing as cassette players in cars, CD players in cars, DVDs. We didn't have this. So, of course, all we had in the car was a radio. We listened to music, news. You have an opportunity, and you may not be aware of this, but if you're a young salesperson today and spend your whole career in sales, average you'll spend 5,000 hours in your car. Now that is a lot of time. Now you can do one of two things. You can just drive and not have any stimulation mentally, or you can start doing what all of us as pros do. You turn your cars into classrooms. Meaning, I don't listen to a motivational or a training tape every day. Why? Because I love variety. I love good music. I enjoy some documentaries. I enjoy some of the talk shows. So I have a smattering of all of it. But I would say this, it's a great time for you to learn by listening to good uplifting training and motivation while you're in your car. I hope you'll adopt that as a new habit. The next word for enthusiasm is the word belief. See, I don't think you can be enthusiastic if you don't have a high belief system. First of all, in yourself, your product, your service, your ability to really do a great job for your fellow man with your business. And belief builds enthusiasm. I think people that are kind of down are the ones that don't believe they can do it. So you have to start saying, I can be as successful as anyone. All I have to do is start adapting these ideas to myself and make them mine. They've got to become you. You know the last word of enthusiasm? The people I feel that are in their later years that don't seem to have an excitement for life, they've lost this last word. And I really think you got to keep saying, what is my purpose? See, I think you need to search for your purpose. I think you have to have a purpose that transcends just making a living. Now, one of the exciting things about earning a greater than average income is you also now are given the opportunity to do what many people don't or can't do, and that's to give to others less fortunate. There is nothing more exciting than you finding a charity that you really love, and you develop this desire to work with this charity, to give not only your financial resources, but your time to help your fellow man. I've learned over the years that earning a great living is wonderful, but giving to others is a greater high than keeping it. And I've always had a little philosophy. When it comes to your financial, physical, and emotional resources, you really only keep that which you give away. So think about this as you mature now. What is my purpose? What am I going to do to serve others? What am I going to do with my golden years to make sure I'm giving back to the society that has given me so much? How many of you take some daily supplements or vitamins? Most people today do. They realize that most of the foods that we eat, because of the cooking and processing, don't have all the vitamins that we need. So taking a daily prescription of vitamins or nutrients is so common today. I want to give you what I call the vitamins of success. And I try to, when I develop this, to say, what if a person took these success vitamins every day? This is not physical. This is something you're going to do with the training you've just been through. See, if you don't take these vitamins, a lot of this will be gone and it'll never come back to you. Some of you have spent a lot of time, over hours, reviewing this material, reading your workbooks. Your company's invested in this program for you. Make sure as we come towards the close that you realize the importance of these vitamins. Now, the first vitamin is, of course, vitamin A. Well, what does that stand for, Tom? That stands for application. You see, you've got to apply what you've heard and seen in these programs. If you sat through this whole series, even using the workbook, and didn't take the concepts, the words, the phraseology to the actual presentation table, then without that vitamin A, you're not going to get stronger, feel better about the art of selling. You've also got to take a daily dose of vitamin B. And that again is belief in what you can do. You got to take that belief vitamin. So don't forget your vitamin B. I believe in myself, my company. I'm going to do a great job today. Work on vitamin C. And when I started teaching and then taking students and saying, I want to really see what makes them up, the top people, the medium people, the low producers, I found that something happens with people that become really good at this business, and it really is vitamin C. When my original trainer, J. Douglas Edwards, got to know me and heard the number of homes I was selling, he said this to me and I didn't understand it. He says, Tom, you have a high degree of comprehension. You see, vitamin C, comprehension, is like an intuitiveness you have as to what's going to happen with people. Meaning after 300 or 400 sales, and some of you have made more than that, you know when they say this, this is going to happen. When they say this, they mean that. That's comprehension. Some people have a high degree when they start in the business. Others don't have a degree of it at all and have to work on listening carefully, focusing on the client, watching what I've told will happen with certain clients, especially the different types of buyers we've discussed. And I hope you'll take a big, big dose of vitamin D. And that is desire. I hope you'll work on your desire level to where you say, I desire to have a better life. I desire to be happier. I desire to give my family the things they dream about. I desire to really fulfill my potential. I desire to end up the best at what I do. Increase that desire level. And how do you do that? By just self-talk. Hey, I can do it today. I'm going to be better than I've ever been before. And then, of course, take a huge dose of vitamin E, enthusiasm. You take those vitamins every day, and you'll not just be physically feeling better, you'll be emotionally excited to get up and do a better job in this wonderful profession of selling every single day. I personally have quite a few goals regarding the training system that we're involved in here. The first is to give you usable technique and tools that you can take right from here into the field of sales and be more effective. Thus, as I've said, make more money for you and your family, more profits for your company. I think one of the strengths in that is you've got to develop a pride in sales. See, many people go into sales and they're not real proud to do what they do, sell things. In fact, some of them are even somewhat negative. They almost go like, well, I'm in sales. Well, I want you to take this last few minutes and realize how proud you should be of what you do. See, many people don't know what selling does for our country in general. And the first thing I want you to realize is selling is the foundation of the free enterprise system. Meaning we in our country consider ourselves to have free enterprise. Many other countries do as well. And the key to that is moving a product that we manufacture to a company or, let's say, consumer, and the transaction creates the profit to build this company, to pay salaries, to feed families, to give people the money they need to enjoy their lives. Now, you and I are very responsible for that, and that's why there should be a pride in what we do. You see, capitalism is based on three things. Based on quality, competition, and profit. And that's why every company today should strive not to make the profit first. Should try to make sure they're giving quality as to the product and much quality as to the service. Now, if you do that, you'll beat your competition. And in beating your competition, you'll make a profit. And you and I as salespeople are responsible for that. There's another thing you should realize. When you get someone involved in your product or service, meaning they spend their money with you, you are creating new wealth. You see, new wealth is only created when you get money for a product that creates the profit, and that profit is the new wealth into the system. These are some of the reasons that you need to be so darn proud